Hey everybody, welcome back to the WahooWarrior channel. It's me, Sean. So, started yesterday working on my Kings of War army, and the army's a man. Like I said, I went to an event last year in March here in Omaha, which there's a big Kings of War following. So, I went to that event, had a bunch of pikemen and rifles. So after I did that event, I realized I didn't have really a tough combat unit. So I came back. I got with Bill Harbaugh, who's a big Warhammer Fantasy Kings of War guy, and I bought a bunch of his forged miniatures, and I made up some infantry squads. So these guys are basically going to be kind of my heavy infantry, and in Kings of War, they're called foot guard. So the foot guard, they're kind of more of a tough elite kind of unit. So I'm planning to run them in blocks of 10 and kind of between my pikes, because what I realized with the pikes, they were great at holding people up, and it just was a stalemate. So I need something to kind of get into the side of whatever the pikes are holding up. So I've got my first unit completed, other than basing, obviously. The shields, I'm not too happy with them. I'm not much of a freehand painter. I first painted them up. I put some chevrons on them. I didn't like it. I kind of like the way the red and the armor and stuff looks. I know the video is probably not great for showing. Let's see if we can get in a better light. But so I went ahead and redid them. I just made like a red stripe across there. Nothing fancy. I don't have any decals for the shields like for the Vikings and stuff, but I think it looked okay. It's good enough for now. So I have been dying to kind of roll some dice, so I figured what I'd do is see how my first unit of 10 painted guys would go against a unit of 20 militia. Here's my militia I plan to paint up. I'll paint them up a little more drab, like I was talking about the other day. So I've got my snafu dice tray. So the way that Kings of War works, if you've never played it, so you look at their unit selection and foot guard. It's a unit of 10, so they have a speed of 5. That's how far they move. Melee 3 up, so they hit on a 3 up. Defense of 5 up, so if they get attacked, my opponent has 5 up to hurt me. Now there's special rules, obviously, like Warhammer Fantasy, where you can lower that, but that's just the base. You get 10 attacks, and they have a nerve of 10 and 12. If you look at militia mobs, a regiment of 20 has a melee of 5 up. They have a defense of 3 up, so they're not very good at defense. They have 12 attacks, so you get 10 more guys, but only get 2 more attacks. But their nerve goes up to 12, 14, which is basically a little bit higher than that. So I gotta just throw some dice. I'm not very good at King's War, but what the hell. So if these guys charge into the militia block, I get to roll my 10 dice. So I'm attacking on a 3 up, because you use the attacker's dice. So, looks like I just missed with 1. So it'd be 9 hits, because I get 10 attacks based off my entry. Now, and then I look at the defense of the militia mob, which is 3 up. So anything on 3 up hurts them. Oh, wow. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8, they take 8 points of damage, and you'd mark that with an 8. And then you would roll against their nerve of 12, 14. So I roll 2 dice and add 8. Oh, that's like really good. No matter what it was, I would have killed him. So my first paint of miniatures destroyed that unit. Pretty good for a good start. Just for fun, we could do it the other way around and have the militia mob charge them. So as a militia mob charge them, militia mob would go first. They'd have 12 attacks. So there's 10 plus 2. And they're hitting on 5 ups because they're not very good. But I rolled pretty good. I'll take out the misses. I rolled really good. It's really good. So it's a lot of hits, but then they wound on a 5 up because I'm heavily armored. So they get 1 wound. So I'd take 1 point of damage. I'd mark that with a 1. And they would roll the 2d6 and they add the 1 to it. So to stun me, I can't remember what it's called. To kill me, they need a 12. So they need to see what they roll. They roll a 5 plus 1, 6. So it does nothing to me. So I get to I'd keep the 1 wound. That'd stay on there, and then I get to attack back, just like I did last time. We'll go ahead and roll it again. Little foot guard, hitting on 3 up. Missed 3 times this time. Wounding on 3 up because the militia mobs suck. Not as good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They take 5 points of damage. And I roll 2d6 and add 5 to it. And I need a 7 to get them to stunned. Nope, so you get to attack back. And that's kind of how Kings of War works. It just goes back and forth, depending on the turn. You know, obviously those other units. So the foot guard, I like them. I like their hitting on a 3 up, 5 up armor. Nice solid unit. As you can tell, they're much more heavily armored than my malicious units that I'm planning to make, which are basically clothing with a shield, a few odds and end bits of armor. I'm not looking forward to painting these guys in that I have to paint the hair color. I like these guys, they're really simple, but I do have a whole other squad of foot guard to paint. So that's what I'm working on. I don't know what you guys are doing tonight, but this is what I'm doing. So far so good. 1 unit down and many more to go. Many units of pikes and militia and whatnot to put in. So I could leave this going if anybody wants to chime in, but it looks like there's nobody on. I'll just leave it on for a little bit. Oh, sorry, I responded to a Facebook. So if anybody on here plays Kings of War, so far I'm pretty impressed with it. So I actually was talking the other day about what I'm going to do with the basing, because I really wanted to play the Warlords of Erewhon, which I really like a lot of the rules in Warlords of Erewhon, and I hope that some people start to pick it up. So they're basically individually based. I like the charge rules and stuff. So what I decided to do was go ahead and do all the ones I have up just on these big block bases like Kings of War. And then I've got this Song of Fire and Ice, which I got from last year at Adepticon. And I saw it when I actually played a demo game of it when I was there, and they wouldn't let me buy it, which was funny because they wouldn't let you buy it at the Adepticon, but the next year they give it away with the VIP package. But this has some pretty awesome effing miniatures in it, I have to say. It's got 24 Stark Sworn Swords. It's got 12 Lannister Halberds and a veteran and a flag bearer. It's got 2 Lannister guard captains plus 24 guardsmen, which make great swordsmen, like these foot guard, like I'm doing right now. And then it has the 12 mountains men, which are kind of like some tough dudes with 2-handed swords. And it's got a little bit of cavalry fork. And then it has some Umber berserkers, and there are berserkers in both games. And then it's got some heroes, which Great John and a couple other people. It's got the Mountain and then Jaime Lannister. So with this set right here, I can make a really good Warlords of Erewhon army. And they're all individually based, and they have movement trays built in, so you can put them in there. So I think I'll just make my Warlords army out of this set when I get to it. And I'm trying to get to it. So I'm not sure who just joined, but welcome. I'm not doing much of anything other than painting some miniatures and whatnot. I noticed kind of the eccentric man, if you notice his battle reports, he was kind of lamenting that his wife took over his model space. That's one good thing about now being divorced. I have all my model space. I just need to talk somebody into coming over. I was talking online uh, with Chris, and he's been working on his Soviets quite a bit. So I'm hopefully he'll be able to come over and we can get a battle report up. We'll just live stream it so you guys can just join in and hang out with us in another day or two. I know next week I won't. I have two of the kids right now, so I'm a little leery about anybody coming over just because of the whole COVID-19 thing. But I know I'm quarantined. I haven't been out of not quarantined. I personally chose to be quarantined because I'm on my vacation. So if Chris wants to come over after the kids go to their moms, all next week it's just going to be me. So we plus the distance standing. Maybe we'll just have separate dice trays of touching each other's dice. Mm, I think we'll be okay. I would like to actually play a game. I know there's a lot of people stuck at home. They're probably looking through YouTube trying to figure out what they want to watch and do. We can maybe take a couple hours next week and a couple of matches. Maybe we were talking about doing a campaign. It'd be a really good time. We could actually, if Chris is down for it, we could play an entire whole week of just playing campaign game and run a campaign from start to finish. That'd be really fun, actually. I've always wanted to use some of those expansion campaign books from Bolt Action and do an entire campaign. So no matter who wins or loses, you go on to the next one. That'd be really fun. It'd be a good time to do it, actually. I have to get a board set up a little better than it is, but yeah, that'd be fun. So hopefully Chris will be down for that. But I guess I'll start working on my next unit of foot guard or whatever they're called. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. Post up. Hopefully I got some progress. It actually pushes me to get something done. All right, guys. Take care.